Welcome in, everyone. Today is November 8th, 2023. You can see that right here. Um, we're going to be going over our Apple day trade idea, which was a public and Discord idea, obviously. We had a PayPal idea, which did get scratched, but still want to kind of go over that. We have an American Airlines one that was very close to triggering and skyrocketed today. We have a Nike one that actually did trigger and made a nice drop. We had Tesla that also nearly triggered but didn't. So let's get started. I'll try to keep the video as short as possible. We'll kind of touch on the flow as well too. So starting out here, and again for those who are not in Discord, this is how the Discord's set up. But we again today I always update roughly about half hour before market open, but you can see we had 2 day trade ideas. So Apple and PayPal. So let's start with Apple here. And again, so 183.11 was our entry. So Apple here, you've got 183.11. So this was kind of choppy at first. We rocketed right up at open. So this actual at 833 would have been our trigger. So let's go over the actual contracts here. So we had the 182 and 182.5 and 180 put here. So starting with the 180, and I already marked these off to make it a little easier. So 833 was the trigger here, and you can see, I mean, you could have got in, even if you got in a little late here, should have got in about 38, I'd say 39, 40 at the most, and came right up to 45 here on that first dip. So that first dip gave us about 18% return on interest at the max there. So that was that first dip, and it did get scratched after, and obviously you can see we had a bigger return there, and this blue line again is the entry, but see we had some stop outs. I kind of didn't like how the market was moving. Apple wasn't really pulling back with the overall market, so I was inclined on scratching that. So the 182.5 put now, so again 833, and I'm Central Time for those who don't know. So it could have got about 104, maybe 110 at the highest. I wouldn't chase anything this far. I'll show everybody on the overall chart why also, but these did touch about 126 here, so it's about 21%, and I aim for about 20% on trades. So let's actually go back to the trade here. So again, 183.11 is your entry, and you had that quick, because this rejected actually here. So I won't show on this candle, but this would have been your entry here, and you have that IV discount for puts because nobody wants puts, and came up here kind of choppy, came down, and I mean you're in the green for, I mean, on this first dip for roughly 5 minutes, and you even have that second chance to get out here, which nobody should have took a loss on that. And again, it was scratched after this, and you can see why. I mean, this would have been a stop out because we do 10% stop outs here, but if you took this on a momentum entry down, again, would have been great. Again, there, great momentum. So I mean, the analysis was right on target. But let's touch on the flow here for Apple before we move on. So let me pull back up the Discord. So Apple, and again, I always do the flow analysis for everyone. So we had bearish flow in the last 10 minutes of the day here. A couple flow alerts on the bid side of the weekly 175 calls, which bid side, they're either closing out their position or probably selling calls. And we had a flow alert on the 180s. I think I messed that one up there. But let's look at the Apple, I believe. So Apple, yep, you have your bid side flow alerts right there, and that's your flow alert symbol coming in as a sweep also. 180 calls, bid side, okay, that's where I messed up. And again, these are all weeklies, so a little shorter term on the whales expectations of where it's supposed to go. And we had some puts here also, shorter term, and again, probably more than likely the same person, same exactly to the second. And we also had another flow alert on some 1117, 182.5. So that's what stuck out to me on the flow there. So let's move on to PayPal. And again, this was a scratch on PayPal. So well, I was looking at it yesterday, so I was like, why am I not doing that? But so again, here's our entry today, 53.68. Let's pull up PayPal here. So again, and I still have my alerts on here, which I close out end of day. So you can see our entry 53.68. I did scratch it. I didn't like how the market was selling off and PayPal was selling off really hard there too. So I scratched it, but again, I mean, could have scalped that up. And then of course you have the big move on the day here. So I mean, almost over a $2 move here on PayPal, and that is phenomenal on the day. So again, scratched, but always go back and review your trades. If they trigger, if they don't trigger, if they're a good trade, bad trade, always got to go back and review them no matter what. So stepping over to the Discord side of things now, we had some trades that came in. This was on Sunday actually. So the Delta Airlines and United Airlines didn't come close to triggering, but where is my American Airlines? I thought I had an American Airline one here. Oh, here we go. So we'll start with Nike since it's right there. But so we had Nike, we had repeated hits on the 1117 105 puts. So coming into a supply zone on the 200-day moving average, right at the top of the downtrend supply zone, kind of beat BQ1 earnings, missed revenue. So again, I'll always put notes in here, kind of the whales looking for a mid to short term move. I'd like an entry towards the middle of the supply zone around 110.45. So just some notes here. So looking at the flow here. So here is your flow, and you can see it's all ask side there. And moving over to the chart. So here's your Nike chart. This is where we were on the 5th. We came up into the supply zone today, and look where we triggered. So again, entry I was looking for, why am I missing it? 110.45. Let's move over to Nike. And I mean, this is very, very spot on. I would say very good analysis and making a good move down and little move down in the after hours. Not too much, but good move down there. And let's look at, we'll do American Airlines because that was next. So coming back over here at American Airlines, getting repeated hits. Again, the notes are the biggest thing that I like to leave for people. So a little longer time frame based on the contracts that came in, which I'll show everybody here in a second. So again, would look for an entry around the bottom of the gap fill of 1122. So let's look at the flow here. So again, 40 days, that's not weekly, so they're not expecting a quick move. They're probably looking for a little longer term move, mid-term, long term, whatever you want to call it. And I suppose we should look at the chart here, sorry. So here was American Airlines, and you can see that gap fill there. And it's not going to let me zoom in. Well, you can see we had that gap fill here, and again, this was on the 5th, or, well, 3rd, whatever Friday was. So, yeah, 11/3, because I put it out on the 5th. So we had that gap fill, and let's see how that played out today. So pull up the day chart to actually start here and zoom in here a little bit for everyone. We just missed that entry here, actually. We had a couple gap fills on AAL, so I was thinking of Delta. But if you look at this, at the entry I had, so 1122 was my entry here. So I don't know why I got a little confused there. A lot of moving parts here. So 1122 we came very close to triggering on that. So, I mean, 1154 was the bottom here on Monday. So, this one didn't trigger again, but look at the move up since then. I'll bump this over to the 5. That's why I was confused, because it actually didn't trigger. But look at that move up here from Monday to there. That is almost a dollar move. And when you look at these contracts, like if we did, I think I said the December ones, if you do something in the money on a dollar move, that delta, it's almost 60. So you would have made about 30 bucks per contract here. So I mean, that is very good if you wait for your entries like that. So moving on, we also had BAC was the one I was thinking of. You'll see that here in a second, but this I put out Monday. So we had repeated hits on the 12-1, 28 call, 12-15, 29 call, and see with this stuff you can see where the whales are entering, which is really nice. Some of these I won't post because if there's like 6 or 7 flow alerts, I can't get all the pictures in, but again, very easy to see. This is clean flow. Again, clean flow there, and the actual alerts that came in. So again, see the size, premium, volume, how much open interest there is, and that is a nice thing to do too, because you can see how much volume there is, and then the next day it's going to tell you how much actually carried over. Something I love about unusual whales. So again, a little longer term on these contracts because they were 25 and 39 days out. So what I wanted with this was the gap fill here. So again, I would wait for the gap fill to 27.68. Let's see what happened today. Almost to the penny. This is the importance I preach to everybody in the group. Patience on these trades. They might not trigger the next day. That's okay. If the setup's not there, don't chase. I mean, this is, if you would have went, and I called out, I believe, the December contracts, 12-15. So again, another one, if you would have got the 12-15s, good open interest, you do something in the money like the 27s. I wouldn't probably do that deep in the money. Probably would have went with the 28s. You got a low of 71 to, what did we top at there? So 71, that would have been the entry, and hit about 84, 85. That's a great return for our trade, and stuff like that I won't swing. If I'm up 30-40%, why would you swing and risk that? You take profits when you see profits. That is my biggest thing. And we have one more, which was Tesla, and this one kind of still open. Can't go down that far because that's stuff that did not come out yet. So Tesla here, again, multiple repeated hits. You see all this flow coming in. Very, very bullish. Have some puts in there. So again, I keep that in mind when I'm seeing a lot of stuff. Looking for maybe a small pullback before a run up. So again, shorter term on most of the contracts. So again, 3 days. These were weeklies. And they're kind of looking for a quicker move. So I was looking for that bounce on support at 217.28. So, and I like getting time on Tesla because Tesla is very volatile. I actually don't really like trading Tesla personally, but let's look at where we went today. And this one missed entry, but still it was close. So 217.28. Let's take a peek at Tesla here. Tesla. So again, 217.28. Very close. Almost twice, very close. That's okay. If you miss it, I'd rather see something miss and have your analysis be on versus it trigger and just drop. So that is kind of the trade recaps for everything. Again, Apple being the one that triggered, which was a free idea for everyone. PayPal scratch, and again, it's probably a good thing it scratched because I'll show you why. Look what time we triggered. Again, Central Time, 9:30 Central Time, and we chopped for almost 2 hours. And I mean, you could have scalped it up and took a little profits, but this isn't a fun trade. I don't like this stuff. This would have been great, yes, but not worth the chop and just boring. And again, Nike was the other one that triggered. Very nice move down here. BAC, another one that triggered, move up there. So great trades today, especially by everybody in the group. Have a lot more to come. Going to be trying to getting a lot of these recap videos out as much as possible. All right, everyone, have a great night. Thanks for staying. Bye.